You done a podcast before?
Oh, you know, I done looked.
No, I know you still got the
Let me
podcast.
say, I respect any man who keeps a blade in his pocket. Within 2 seconds of engagement, that's a good man.
I saw him at the smoke shop, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is exactly," because they all have like the smaller ones, and I was like, "I need some length."
My teacher said, "A knifeless man is a lifeless man."
Need some extension of my strength.
You gotta have something. Life is crazy,
right? Especially when you become a fucking family man. It's like, oh God, now life has put me in a position where I got to defend myself because I have people depending on me.
But
great,
you know what's crazy, bro? When I walk the streets alone, I don't give a fuck.
Right,
I'm free and fine,
chilling.
Man.
Now you put something in front of me, I gotta protect.
God dang, I'm on guard again.
La like this.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another beautiful episode. I really love this little Lovecast. Another entry to this beautiful Lovecast. Love like this. It's me, your boy, one and only. Do I have to say it again? Orlando Roye, and Mila is on, what's the word I want to look for? She's on fiance leave.
Hey.
I let the people know that she was fired. I decided to bring her back, right? But if you listen to this right now, Mila is officially a fiance, right? So shout out to her.
Mila.
No. Okay, fuck me. I'm not even in the equation. Just congrats, Mila.
Never mind the ring that was invested in.
Right. Not everything I had to do to get this ring, put this plan together. It was a beautiful proposal. But congrats to her. She did great. Is this time men be in therapy?
My bad. I'm not supposed to even be talking yet. I didn't even get to This is literally the problem.
I know you got a lot to say. Yeah. Oh, man. We're still continuing this Men in Love series. And, when we're recording this, it's not the actual day that's already happening. But by the time it comes out, Mila will be engaged and stuff like that. And it's crazy because I had this idea of how to intro into this, and now that I'm here, I'm like, I can't believe I just said that out loud. And it actually feels like really good to say. Like I can feel my chest, like heart pounding, like because I feel like we're in the future in some sense, because this is going to come out later, and at the time that it comes out, like it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's like that's how determined I am to execute this plan. Like it's coming, baby. You just wait. But I wanna introduce somebody who is really dope, who really cool. Sometimes I actually think of you and I call you like my partner in healing. But I want to introduce another Jake to the show. I already had a friend of mine who's a very spiritual person himself. We call him Jake. Okay, so we've been that's why I've been actually calling you by your name more often. Hey. But I want to introduce Shekem, and I am terrible with intro, so please take this moment and introduce yourself.
Hey, I am Shakim. I'm a spiritual warrior for my people, and I'm here in the process of healing and growing and transcending. So it's beautiful to have Tribe in the process with me. It's a dope journey.
Yeah. And if y'all don't know, Shekem will be joining me as the host of the Good Vibes Couples Retreat.
Yes, the Tantra Retreat is going to be special.
Yeah, man. So you're going to be the other male presence on the retreat. Not the other male presence, also the male presence. I'm going to be other male presence, whatever. We're both going to be in this space together, and that is one of the things that I've been looking forward to, because I've even been telling Mila, like, I've wanted to do retreats since I've had a podcast back in Brooklyn, just like gathering gathering people together in a sexual space and healing them in that type of way. But I really love, and I'm really looking forward to this journey that we're about to go through.
It's going to be special. It's going to be special. We have so many nice things lined up. I know we're roughly into the curriculum, but it's already made. And really, if you know what it feels like, it's already done, and we're just kind of excavating out the things that are already done in the curriculum.
Excavating is a very good word.
Yeah, it's so dope, man. I love the process, so I can't wait to share it with them.
Yeah, and to just give y'all maybe a little hint, because y'all only going to hear the hints and little tidbits and the secrets over here in Love Like This.
Amen.
And I be trying to hype it up. But we really got something special that is going to connect to the men and the masculinity and the masculine presence on this trip in a very good way that's going to heighten and make you feel more powerful, and crossing fingers with hopes, like something you could take home and use at home. And that's the actually important part for me, is that you have not homework, but something that you can take home with. Like, you didn't just come and feel like, I just did a bunch of yelling on a mountain. I feel more into my femininity. No, it's really actually about having men go more into their masculinity and knowing the right feeling of masculinity and how to strengthen that and feel powerful in that.
Exactly.
Are they good?
Amen. Hey, bro. I think you're doing amazing. I can't wait to be in action with you, because we have so many different things to offer.
Yeah.
I think the male community, just in a full spectrum way,
Yeah.
So I can't wait. It's going to be in June of 2025, and it's going to be special.
It's going to be special.
Yeah, man.
We're doing it for y'all, my fellas.
Yeah, we're doing it for y'all. Maybe we need a little bit of it too. So
and that is the other part of it, is you should not have made me smoke before this, because I definitely had a great segue. What I was going to say. But to take it back, we were going, we need a little bit of everything. Like, we do need a little bit of the femininity when it comes to these retreats, but when you can have a moment to, like, really bask in the masculine part and, like, take it back to the beginning of your masculinity, right? And see the journey of your masculinity, where it came from, and see which parts you can, like, work on. Like you said, excavate. Like, let's dig through all the things that make you masculine, all the things that make you a man, and how we can make that more powerful and not more toxic.
Yeah. We have really good foundations to build on. So we'll see, man.
Yeah, I cannot wait. And what I wanted to do here today, speaking of, like, excavating and getting into the past and digging through all the things, I really want to dig up, like, the love that's within men. Like, where did it start? Like, how we got here. I started this because I just wanted to, like, hear the origin stories for, like, men's love stories and, like, where it starts and where it is now. Because I wanted to, like, find a way. Yeah, to be honest with you, you're gonna hear a lot of right? Because this is all about making me better, so I can be a better fiance and a husband to my girl. So
that's real.
Real. It really is about a bunch of, like, hey, I want to become better. I want to hear other people's stories and see what I can take away from that. And it's not just hearing your stories. We're sharing experiences and stuff like that, and that's really just why I have men here. And I think it's a very beautiful space to, like, have it, and then we could talk like this.
Yeah, that's so important. It's like having a weekly symposium. That's so important. I love it.
So, start by digging into your past, my friend. Right? Yeah. Where do you feel like love started for you? Like, how was love in your household, like, growing up?
Love for me started with art. Love for me started with art and movement. That's, like, the foundations of what I remember love feeling like and being. And I'm an artist now. I'm a singer and songwriter, of course, but I'm also a martial artist, and there's so much art in the combative space. So even though it's spawned off into many details now, it started off as my dad being a singer, and every time he came over, we had to sing and rehearse. And my oldest memories I can remember were, unfortunately, there was a form of performing. Yeah, it was performative, because he would set up the camera. We rehearse Michael Jackson. We look at the tape, playback. If it's fucked up, we do it again. And it's like, even though it was
Little Mike being the inspiration.
and he was very inspired by that whole family. So we had a huge part of our childhood rehearsing. So for me, even though it was arduous in nature, there was an absolute love to it because of what I believe love is. When I look back on it, that to me was a binding process that I think love is. Yeah. So it was singing and dancing and looking for the approval of the guy behind the camera, and sometimes he's mad and sometimes he's happy, and it's like, oh shit, let's do the stuff that makes him happier. And it's like, unfortunately, it can go that route. It went that route for a while. And then the rest of the love in my household, I attribute to my mom, because she is a spiritual warrior as well. She does hair. Yeah. So she's very empathetic and very observant, and like, and she knows what type of medicine you need to feel better, because a new person comes and sits in her chair every other hour. Yeah. She's like, okay, you need this specifically, and you need this type of music, and you need a cup of coffee blah, blah. It's like she knows exactly. So she's like that with her children. She was very loving, very acute with her distribution of individualistic love for each of her 4 kids. I think she was amazing at that while balancing doing hair. So love to us was always tribe, community, work.
Tribe, art, community, and work.
Art, yeah.
I'm happy you said work because I wanted to like go back a second or two, or a few sentences or two, where you said that you would look beyond like the guy beyond the camera and just look for his approval. Yeah. At the time where you're looking for his approval, did you feel like you were looking for like the approval equated to love? Like if I made happy my dad happy, he's more like approval. He approves of like this song I did fire, then he's gonna love me more in a sense.
Yeah, because at that time, which I can say is relatively rational, because at that time, the calculating that I'm doing in my head is he's not here that often.
Yeah.
So when he is here, the process of the love binding happens, and there are some times where it happens through negative feelings, and sometimes it happens through positive feelings. There's work in both, but unfortunately, the positive one is when we do it a certain way.
Yeah.
So it's like learning how to abide by certain rules so that you can receive the reciprocity that you would idealistically like to experience from that figure. Yeah. So even though, you know, we were doing what we loved, because it was so arduous, there was a blurred line of how much of this is love and how much of this is ego of you trying to live through the experience of your kids. Yeah. So it's rough, but the gifts that I got in the process are you can't put a value on them. Yeah, you can't put a price on them. Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that, because as you're talking about like that experience with your father, I'm reflecting on the experience that I had with my dad. My dad was more so in the trade. So he was in construction. He was a HVAC. So he would install the ventilation systems like in houses. He had his own business and stuff like that. Working with your hands is also an art in construction. It's like knowing how to properly and neatly put together a whole system that is also still effective, and then finding the time between like speed, efficiency, and effectiveness, like with it, like because he was the boss of his own company, so like just doing all the things like that's where I found the love of like working with tools, right? And working with my dad, all I did growing up until the age of 18 was try to do whatever I can to make my dad proud. So similar to you, my dad, I live with my mom, not my dad. I'm assuming you live with your mother?
Mom, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I live with my mom and not my dad. And the times he came around, and I would always try to do things to make him feel like more, gain his approval, whatever I can. So I was always the good kid. I was always respectful to all the women and all the aunts and stuff like that. I was always like whatever I would need to do to make my dad happy. And then, and so it's kind of similar to like you saying that your dad is putting you like rehearsals and the whole performance and stuff like that. And then after the performance, like you're looking beyond the camera to like see it was similar.
Unfortunately, you know, it was tricky, man. The fact that we both attribute these things to our dad makes me think of a concept when I was growing up. The main sentiments that I was compiling into all of my communication with my mom was, if it can be condensed down to one sentence, was look at who I am. Yeah. And my dad, it was always look what I can do. Right. Look who I am. Look what I can do. Mom, I swear I didn't do that. It's not who I am. Believe me, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Yeah. With my dad, as soon as he comes over, it's like, I want to let you hear that song I've been practicing. Singing that. I love you, 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 I love you. I can do it like you now. Yeah. I used to hear him doing that around the kitchen all the time. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's my favorite Sam Cooke song. So I think it's interesting that I would hear that and I'd say, I want to be able to do what he does. Yeah. And I look at my mom and I say, I want to be able to be how she is. So the doing part, I think, is maybe inextricably interwoven into the male psyche in regards to just progress in maybe all positive forms of emotion, you know, because work for us is different. Yeah. I really do believe that. And I mentioned this prematurely to Erica the other day because I was kind of just coming off the top of my head trying to figure out what work means to a man. Because there's a beautiful lecture given by a dude named Dr. Miles Monroe called "What God Gave Adam Before Eve." What did Adam get before he got a woman? There were 5 things. He got things before a woman. It's like, okay, so then what should man get before a woman? If we just think of it abstractly and allegorically, work is one of the first things God made Adam do. Yeah. Soon as he could be, he said, all right, now go name those animals and cultivate this forest. Come on, do something with yourself. Get your black ass up. Plant them seeds. Don't touch that tree. He never told Eve not to touch the tree. He told Adam, don't touch that fucking tree. Blah, blah, blah. And he's giving them all these things to do. So I think maybe there's a positive side to this idea that for man, work is interwoven into his love process. You know?
Right. And so I agree wholeheartedly. And what I was trying to say is that through all of this, like trying to get the approval of my dad, I had to find out how I can separate and properly distinguish between approval and love. And not have them like interwoven or vines like interwoven into each other. Because even after doing so many things to get my dad's approval, it's literally not until I was 18 years old that my dad, for the first time, said to me, "I'm proud of you." And as soon as I got it, I was like, that wasn't as great as I thought it was gonna be. And then maybe like a few years later, that shifted. Like when that happened, that shifted from like realizing that, I think at this point I don't care for your approval anymore. When I started this goal of needing my dad's approval, I was so young that I grew out of like my body. No, I didn't grow out of it. Consciously, I was still in that age of wanting my dad's approval. All the work that I did, all the growth that I had, all the perfection I was trying to become, my body outgrew wanting that goal. So I was well beyond this. When I finally got it, it didn't even sit with me the same way that I thought it was because my body outgrew it from all the work that I did.
Wow.
And then after that, that's when I had to find out, like, okay, love and approval are 2 different things, and that doing things for people and they approve it doesn't necessarily mean they love you more.
Amen. That's true. Amen. That's a great revelation.
Whew, that took a lot to get out.
Bro, I think that's a powerful thing because I think a lot of people, men and women, need to recognize the separation between approval and love. Approval and agreeableness is actually like detrimental in a relationship. Yeah, when you're seeking that. So I respect that. I love that.
Yeah, and just to like not to skip too far ahead, but I can realize the difference in my relationships in my teenage years than my adult years drastically after that moment. Like after realizing like, doing a bunch of shit and then, of course it comes with growth and like realization, but for me specifically, I just realized the like drastic difference in like how I not approach women, but went about my relationships, how I would do things for women and feel like, okay, I did this, then you should be happy because I did these right things. And then it changing into, I'm just doing this because I've just done the work and I know how to do these things. And I like doing these things. Yeah. And if you approve of it, fine. If you don't, fine. But if you love me more, that's preferred.
Yeah, that'd be great if you appreciated it. That'd be super great.
So
amen, dog.
Yeah, but you feel me though? So 2 things. I want to ask you, what was love like for you growing up? But what was it like for you growing up specifically with your mom? And then what was it like growing up for you specifically in the arts? Because I feel like once you get into the arts, it's kind of like it's like your whole environment. Like you hear the music, you feel the song like everywhere. So like that connection is deep as like having a family member, in my opinion.
That's such a beautiful question to ask, man. I never thought about my relationship with my mom and my simultaneous relationship with music and how it's grown over the years. I can't believe.
It's kind of like I'm a professional.
Okay, well, I'm going to answer that from the heart. Yeah. I have never noticed this correlation that when I was young, because my introduction into music was perfectionism through my dad, my relationship with music began to become about this creating something that is total and encapsulating all powerful things at one time. Yeah. And I'll listen to "Want to Be Starting Something" by Michael Jackson, how he jumped out in that on the stage in Budapest. It's like he's just going crazy. To "Want to Be Starting," it's like, oh, that's the perfect song. And then I listened to "Oh my, I'm feeling high." As a kid, I'm like, perfection. And I'm always looking for the things that are total, right? The more I strived for perfection, the more detached I got from my mom. And she was always abundant towards me. And I was always trying to make the perfect song and write the perfect lyric. I'm the type of person who would have 11 versions of one song. And I'm just going changing one little thing. But it's because I'm always striving for this perfection. And my Venus is in Virgo. The things in regards to love with me and romance, I'm always like real meticulous. So with my mom, that grew a wedge between us, between like middle school and in college. We were very distant because we were living together, and it wasn't healthy for my experience of attempted perfectionism, because it's just who's perfect and what's perfect, and it's a horrible tenet to live by. Anything regarding perfectionism, anything,
especially at that age.
Especially at that age, like how are you going to be perfect at 16? You don't even know what perfect means. You know the definition of the word. So I saw that the more meticulous I was with my music, the more distant I was with grasping the music that I actually loved and wanted to create. And during that process, me and my mom were distant. And I started healing my relationship with music as I healed myself. Simultaneously healing with my dad, too. My dad came out of nowhere doing his part in regards to the healing. And as my relationship healed with myself, I expressed my healing in real time through music. So I'm literally healing the music in real time as I'm healing myself. And I'm the main person that I'm excited to share the music with is my mom. I didn't think about that, bro. Whenever I make a new song, there's nobody that I really care to share my music with. When I feel like it, I have a few homies who I'll send it to. I'll be like, yo, want to get some ears on this? Boom, let me know how it feels. Never let me know if you like it. It's like, let me know how it feels. Just testing the waters. I'm in my little cave. But my mom, when I make a new song, I'm like, man, my mom is going to know what that means. I'm like, Mom, I got some new shit. You got to check it out. It's the best shit ever. Mom, you're the only one I got. Best shit ever. When it was time for me to even make my own music and like step into this stage of me being a man away from my brother, which was the most difficult decision I ever had to make, I went to my mom to ask her approval. That's
see how that came out?
Yeah, that's weird. I didn't care to talk to anyone else. I went to my mom, like, gave this whole sob story. Mom, I gotta step away. Fly on my own wings.
I gotta find my own.
Mom doing the man cry. So. She said, boy, fucking get out there and fly. Go, man. I was like, but isn't it a big deal? She was like, no. None of these things that y'all make that serious is big deals. It's just life. And I realized, like, all of my big moments of healing regarding music, they were paralleled with a big transcendence forward with my mom. That's a beautiful thing to bring out, bro. Thank you. Because she didn't even give me that gift. That was a gift from my father. But the healing modality of the gift I share mostly with my mom. So, yeah, our relationship now is great. That's my dog, like my best friend. Just talked to her yesterday just on some catch-up shit. And I be forgetting I could call my mom. Man, I told my mom, like, Mom, I told her again. It's like, Mom, I got the best shit ever. Mom, you don't realize. And it's really, I know why. It's because I know that my form of success that I experience means her success. So when I feel like I'm succeeding, I'm like, you got to be here with me. I got some new shit. It's going to change the world. I sent it to her. Went off on this whole tangent. She said, boy, go up to the stand and get your hamburger. Go get what you deserve. I said, man, Mom, you're great at that. All right, bye. I'll call you tomorrow. Yo, call your mom. Call your mom, dog. She plays such a big role in your purpose. Music is healing people through my music is my purpose. And she's like simultaneously braided with that. Never even thought of it to what depth. So yeah, thank you.
Oh man, I hope you can like take that with you.
Yeah,
give some like deeper thoughts, see where it lands.
Man, that's dope. Yeah, thank you.
I'm happy.
Yeah, man.
We spoken about love for a good portion of this. What was like your first heartbreak like? And where did that come from?
First heartbreak, romantically or just love wise?
Oh, let's do love first.
Love first. My first heartbreak was when I found out my dad was going to jail. I found out my dad was in jail, and he had been lying. Not lying. He was lying to us, saying that he was on tour because he was trying to, I think, wait it out to see what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And my mom sat us down and told us, your dad's not actually on tour. He went to jail. And I just remember feeling so robbed of so many opportunities. It's like, man, I needed that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of know at this age, like, I'm transitioning into middle school, which we talked about is diabolical. You're a fat little plump ball who was just playing handball with kids on the court. And now you step into middle school and kids are fighting over there and they're kissing over there and doing drugs over there, asking you where you from over here. It's like, oh, shit, already? You're like, oh, shit, I got to choose up or else I'm going to get mauled out here.
Yeah.
That's like a crazy time. I was like, man, I need that dude. It's like, okay, what does need really mean? Because he's not going to be here. He said he is in jail. It's not that he's going. He's already there.
Yeah.
So that was heartbreaking because I felt robbed. I remember, like, man, it's just not fair. That was fucked up.
I can see it being hard where like you've been guided for so long, and those pubescent years are like really that's the years where it like life starts to start, right?
Nigga.
Like,
you were formative before, and now
like
it's fucking go time.
You're pretty much on the titty until 14. Like, that's when it's really, like, metaphorically, you're still on the titty. Like, and then when you're 14 comes, like, pop, all right, go to school, right? And then take the bus to school or figure out how to get to school.
Take the bus to school.
Yeah, it's off the titty, go take the bus to school.
Fucking traverse to school.
That's kicking the bird out the
There
nest.
was one time, it was raining outside. When you realize you gotta be a man.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, bro. There's certain moments where you realize, you have to be a man.
Exactly.
It was pouring down raining, and it rains in Southern California. I don't know what the fuck that nigga was talking about. I love that nigga, but it was raining. And me and my brother looked at my mom. He was like, you gonna make us your beloved sons go out in that?
You're supposed to love us.
It's hell out there. She's like, boy, I have to go to work. It's like, okay. Shit. Work for her is equivalent to school for, shit. It's on us. All right. And that day we got splashed. Water was coming through the bus. We ended up at school soaking wet.
I remember that going to school, one of my times when I was younger, going to school, and I'm in New York. So
you're in New York, bro.
Walking to school is very normal. So I'm walking to school, no umbrella, coat, and that first car splash, because we got everything is tight. So that first car splash on you, and I was like, oh shit! It's like a cold plunge into adulthood, bro.
It's a baptism into adulthood.
Yeah, because it's like
a street baptism.
Right? There's nobody to like. There's no Batman to put the cape out and protect you.
You can't do shit about it. They drove away. When you have a gun in your pocket, what are you going to shoot at the car?
The car splashed.
You got to shut your black ass up and take that.
So what I was going to say is, it feels like we're being guided or you're being guided for like a certain amount of time, and then also not only guided but like pulled into a certain craft, right?
Yeah.
You were pulled into learning the arts, to singing, to performing in these things, and you're supposed to be guided. And that pivotal point where it's like, okay, I'm about to get my big boy voice, my big boy singing on. I'm out of the toddler singing, right? I'm about to get into the big boy singing now, and you're supposed to guide me, Dad, through this so I can optimize on this time. Yes. And by the time I come out of this, I'm gonna be full-fledged and ready for the world.
Be in full lion mode. I'll have the mane and everything.
Right. And now it feels like when I come out of this, I'm about to be raggedy.
Yeah, I'm about to be raggedy.
Because I had to go through so much shit because I didn't have you to guide me there. Like, what the fuck?
And to get that foreshadowing as a child, man, when I tell you that everything you just said right now and the possibilities of it and the stripping of possibilities of it, at that young, informative age, I saw all of that. Yeah. And that's what felt unfair. And to think that kids don't see that, it's like, that's why we really got to pay attention to our choices. Because it's not that dad is in jail, so just, all right, mold to the world. It's like, dad is in jail and there were expectations that I'm now aware of. So that to me was a huge, like you said, a huge baptism into manhood. Yeah. It's like, we got to start standing on some shit. And, you know, and then, you know, the next heartbreak was not much longer later. Yeah. I've got my first girlfriend. Man, her name was Marlon. And I'm going to say it like that. Because Marlon did something despicable.
Not you call that poor woman out.
Man, I can't believe she did it to the young. I'm fresh and new into the dating world. I looked this woman in her eyes. I said, will you be my girlfriend? This wasn't a note with a yes box, no box, maybe box. I fucking grabbed my balls and said it like a man, bro. She said, yes. And at that age, yes meant, yes, I dedicate myself to you, young prince, as your young and vibrant bride. I said, all right, we take over the world together, starting at recess tomorrow. See you here. I found out 2 days later, through the grapevine, that this is a new kid at school. This new cool guy.
Not the new kid.
There's a fucking new kid, and he is light skinned, just as you picture him in your head. And his hair is just as curly as you see it in your head. And his eyes are just as green as you see it in your head. And his name is just as cool as you hear it in your head. His name was Danian.
Hey, Danian.
That's such a cool name. Ouch. And so I found out through the grapevine that not only is there a new kid, and not only is he a thug, but that Marlon kissed him. I was like, my princess bride? Not my princess
future,
bride.
My future.
My future kissed the thug? Not my future. The future's gone. I was like, wait, I got to call Marlon. So after basketball practice, I called Marlon. I said, Marlon,
I'm an athlete. What's up?
I have a simple question, and I'm almost certain the answer is no, but did you cheat on me with the new kid Danian at school? She took a pause, took a big gulp. She said, yes, I did. Some real woman shit. She said, yes, I did. I kissed him at lunchtime. I was like, oh, shit. And I realized right there, just because you commit yourself to somebody...
Speaking truth.
Just because you commit yourself to someone doesn't mean they're committed to you. I was like, wait, why didn't I think of that? I was like, oh, ding. Okay. All right, we got to stand a little firm around here.
This wasn't a two-way street, my G.
Hell no, bro. So I got to grow some balls because that doesn't feel right.
This what the future's like?
I was like, this is what the future's like?
Dad.
Dad. Meanwhile, he's literally in jail. Right. He's like, I can't help you. I have to write on the yellow paper and wait for like a week to get to him.
Like, I can sing, man.
That's why formative years are so important, though, because during that time, I need answers. During heartbreak, you need answers. Man, during heartbreak, all you fucking care about is answers. From all directions. And if the turnaround time on your answer is too long, you're going to seek quicker turnaround time, especially at a young age. And turnaround time on my dad is this letter's going to take forever. I'll just ask the homies. They're right there.
Boom. And that's where it fucking starts. Let me tell you how much me and you are so similar. There was this girl named Tiffany, right?
Damn it. It's the Tiffany's.
It's fucking Tiffany's. The Tiffany's, the
always
Ashleys.
I'm not even going to get into the
Ashleys.
I haven't trusted an Ashley in 13 years.
Yo, listen, I have an ex named Ashley. A little shortcut. I have an ex named Ashley, right? My boy Chucky hit me up. He said, him, my other friend Greg, and my ex, because Chucky and my ex Ashley are best friends. My ex, they said they all took a shot for me, right? I said, tell Chucky, and tell Greg I said thank you. Ashley will never get a thank you out of me.
No, and the person on the other line said, and Ashley?
Right.
You're just silent. You're like, that name doesn't resonate in my psyche.
But Ashley's not the story. Let's get back to Tiffany.
Yeah,
fucking Tiffany, right? Tiffany, I had the biggest fucking crush on. right? I went to junior high school in Brooklyn called Philippa Schuyler, and it's a school for the gifted and talented black kids in the 5 boroughs, right? So all the cool, smart black kids go to this school. And there's one beautiful girl named Tiffany. She was dark skinned. She had a scar on her head from an injury when she was a child. It was the most beautiful scar I've ever seen in my fucking life, right? Now it's the second most beautiful scar because Mila's also got a scar on the front of her head.
Interesting.
So anyway, Tiffany, right? This is back when we had like Skonex and stuff like that, and then it's just coming out. Oh, AIM. We had AIM messengers.
AIM.
Shout out to AIM.
The things that went down on AIM.
Yo, my AIM messenger name is my email today. I've never let it go.
My AIM away message is still up.
It's lit.
Still there. Like, Mom, I'm moving to Atlanta to become a star. It's still there. I am.
Fire.
I don't give a fuck. It's going to be there till I redeem that.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry. So Tiffany,
right? I'm on AIM, and I got the biggest fucking crush on Tiffany, right?
Yeah.
And I asked her to be my girl, right?
Straight up and down.
Straight up and down. Like, hey, it's on record. It's written out, right? And she said, on record, yes. Nice. Right? So I don't see Tiffany maybe till like lunchtime, right? Maybe it's like 6 periods. So I got to go through the whole day.
Is crazy.
My heart is bumping because I got my girl now.
Yeah.
My crush is mine, right? So the whole day, guess what the fuck I'm doing? I'm telling everybody I got a girlfriend. And Tiffany's my girl.
Fuck.
My G, by 5th period, I found out Tiffany wasn't my girl. 4th period,
found out is crazy. Found out ain't never good because it insinuates that it didn't come from the horse's mouth.
Negro. I bragged for about 2 periods. 3rd period, it went kind of radio silent. 4th period, somebody put me on the game, and by 5th period, it was confirmed. So when I saw Tiffany by 6th period to confront her about it, and ask her, like, hey, what's up, by the locker before we go to fucking lunch? And she was like, no, we're not together. I said, you tricked me.
Said, but according to the document stated on
guess what
chapter AIM, cloth 9.
Yo,
you said, yeah.
That was one of the first times I could really remember like swallowing my pride. Like, oh, this is the game.
This is the game.
I didn't know it wasn't the game then.
Yeah.
But there's a second part to this. Guess what the fuck happened to Tiffany?
What?
I spun the block at 17 years old and she became my first love.
Wow.
The first woman I fell in love with.
Shout out to Tiffany. Planted the seeds.
Yo.
Wow.
I said, you know what? I'm going to get her back. You know, that's what I said in junior high. I said, I'm going to get her back.
Wow. When a man is determined.
And I never meant it in a bad way. I just meant I'm going to get her back.
Yeah. You planted that seed and threw it away.
Yo.
Man, shout out to Tiffany, man. You know, it's these women are such pivotal, important pieces to our journeys, man. Shout out to the women who we helped and they helped us, man. I'm sure we helped them too.
And the shit is really important because... Like, I think about it even now. Like, I never really got, like, the woman guidance from my dad. Mm-hmm. And it's important to say from my dad, for me, because I got guidance from other people. Whether it be from the homies, whether it be from uncles, whether it be from cousins, or whatever the case may be.
Uncles have the best advice.
They do have the best advice, but they're not your dad.
They're not your dad.
And then that shit is different. And you ever watch Avatar? Just a little spinoff. Remember Prince Zuko was like rocking out with his uncle the whole time, which, as you can see as the story unfolds, is really like his strong father figure. Mm-hmm. And it's not until the actual betrayal when he goes back to his dad, he's really seeing like, this, you kind of fucked up, my G. Like, even though you're my dad, and it's like no matter what his uncle did for the long story that he put him on for, he was still trying to find the approval of his dad, and that's how it was for me. It's like no matter what my uncles would tell me, like whatever they would do to put me on, like if I'm not getting that from my dad, like that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So I never got the like 1s and 2s like about women from my dad, and the lucky thing for me is on my mom's side, I was silenced a lot. My mom never really gave me the chance to talk. It was always like, yo, just shut up, don't say nothing. But instead of being like vengeful, I turned into a great listener.
Amen.
And I turned to a great listener of women because my mom would always make sure she would just want to always talk. And so that turned into me actually learning what women like. That's what actually saved me from not having like my dad's guidance and masculinity in my life.
That's so interesting. I had a similar experience.
Oh, look at that.
I wonder how, that's so interesting. I would love to do a poll asking men how they learned how to listen to women, asking the men who know how to listen to women how they learned how to listen to women.
Yeah,
because that's really important, and there's going to be good and bad that comes with every process, but that's important to learn that tool at a young age, because one of the biggest pitfalls for men is pride and assuming that you know everything.
Right.
Especially those who are intellectually inclined. It's the assumption that what you've learned is enough so far, and that if you spend enough time around a woman, you know that anything can happen at any moment, and it can be justified by whatever is going on that day. Yeah. So if you've got to be malleable and ready for that. Yeah. But I had that same experience working in my mom's hair salon. My first job ever was working in my mom's hair salon. And she would do her clients in this half of the shop, and in the first half, the other half was where they would sit and wait, magazines. I would answer the calls. Hello, Daydreams. How may I help you? My mom, smile, boy. They can hear it when you smile. Hello, Daydreams. How can I help you? And I would do everything, sweeping the floors, everything. But my favorite thing about that fucking job was I could listen to them, because there was a big door in the middle that didn't close. And I could listen to them talk. And the women in the beauty shop talk a certain way. Yeah. You think niggas in the barber shop is something? Are you crazy? Women are brutal. Let a nigga walk in. Let the mailman walk in.
That's the first group chat.
The beauty salon is the first group chat. Absolutely. Man, and I know y'all's group chats be absolutely barbaric.
Yeah, and actually very similar to you. When I first came to America, the same uncle who would always look out for me and give me advice, his girlfriend was a hairstylist. So we would literally maybe 3 or 4 times easily out of the week, we would be in the hair salon. I would do my homework there.
Man, that's important, dog.
So that's I was always engulfed and always around women and always listening to women.
Well, one thing I realized, bro, is the listening aspect. I do believe is a feminine quality. It's a receiving quality, because you're literally receiving something in. And what I noticed is in the beauty salons, you have a certain mode of being. You have a certain mode of communication, form of communication, that continues to build on each other. And then
you hear things differently.
Yeah, you hear things differently. You express yourself differently, because everything's so malleable. And women have a different type of relationship. I really respect it. At the barbershop, we started going to the barbershop when we were in high school. Our mom would just drop us off at the barbershop. We go to In the Cut right here in North Hollywood. And the banter that was in the barbershop was very similar, but it's contextually just a little different, you know? Yeah. But you realize it wasn't that much building up like it was over here with women. Just what I noticed. Maybe it was my mom's demographic of women. They were
the same with mine. And they were Caribbean women, so we're mostly Jamaican, Trini and stuff like that. Yeah. And from what you're saying, I already know what you're talking about. The nuance in women's conversation and like the range is much different than when I was in the barbershop, and it's kind of like bullet point conversations.
It's bullet point, and then sometimes niggas throwing bullet points that don't even go with the thesis. It's just because you need to get it off your chest.
Right. It's kind of like straightforward bullet point conversation or theory conversation, but it's not really.
And the theory conversation isn't malleable. See, this is what I love about symposiums. One of my favorite books ever is Symposium. It's by Plato. Dope ass book. I don't give a fuck how hotep I am. I don't give a fuck. These niggas is dope. This nigga has a book called Symposium where he gathered Socrates and Eric Zemekis and all the homies together. Yeah. Got some wine and bread, and they just all talk about what love is to them. Yeah. What love means to them. One of them's a doctor. Aristophanes is a comedian. Socrates is who Socrates is. They all say the definition. And the beauty of Symposium is that when philosophers get together, a true philosopher knows that he's constantly refining. There's a pride thing that comes along with the masculine conversation sometimes when it's immature, that it's not malleable, it's not up for refinement, it's not up for any modifications. So that was one thing I hated about the barbershop, is shit escalates in masculine conversation to violence sometimes, or to degradation, or to disrespect, whether it's joking or not. Yeah, you're either tearing down or building up. The middle is not. What I noticed, the middle is bullshit. What I noticed in beauty salons is there's a lot of building up. Girl, leave him. You better than that. Girl, don't. Girl, you don't need that. Oh, girl, even if it's negative. Girl, what's he worth? girl, you better go get that. They're trying to build something. And then men have, it's like if your perspective or thesis is challenged at all, it's like your shield. We look at our thesis as, I guess, maybe something that's a little bit more
sword.
Yeah, it's more of a sword. It's like, man, we could actually build if you say your thesis and consider that it's incomplete.
Yeah.
And the barbershop is full of thesis. I remember looking around like, which type of nigga do I want to be like? I'm 13, 14. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't got no dad. I got to figure this shit out. Come on, who's doing something right? The niggas I like the most and I would look up to the most is the niggas who just didn't talk that much. They was listening more. They just seemed like they had a wider point of view.
Yo, the person I met in my older years, which is like 19, 20, I have a best friend who has an aunt. We call her auntie. Her husband's name is Courtney, and he's who happened to be my, like, what I would say, a father figure, a mentor in my more adult years. And the one thing me and this man had in common, we were so quiet, but we were the loudest in the room. Me, actually, at the age I was younger, so I was just loud in the room and loud. But our energy, like, he always made sure to let me know, like, oh yeah, my energy speak for itself. I'd be here with my friends and everybody would be like, oh, who is that over there? He not saying nothing.
Yeah.
And then it just goes to show, like, the presence of you is like, it can be so much stronger.
Hey, Ashay.
I was getting to a point with this. We were talking about first heartbreak. God, what was the last thing you said before I even got into this?
First heartbreak.
You're talking about symposium.
Love and it being the perspective of love being malleable. Yeah.
Oh, women in the beauty salon, right? And so, yes, so listening to women, right? Because I was kind of like not necessarily forced to, but because of like how I was brought up, it made me want to listen more. It's interesting, as you say. I'm trying to get back my thought. Made me want to listen more. How the absence of having a masculine presence in like your life, right? It can like direct you down like a certain path that you might not need to go on. But the men, like how we like were growing to be, because we had that strong, very strong feminine presence. Yeah, it put us in a space of actually want to listen more and end up. Like it's like the concoction. We had kind of had like the same concoction, which is like mixed together and made us get to a point where it kind of came out healthy. It came out to like a healthy personality where, we might not have had our guidance or our person to guide us at this certain point in life, but because we had this overpour of like feminine energy in a certain type of way, we ended up having the mixture to turn out to know how to maneuver with women, whereas some men would just get like those toxic advice and toxic vibrations that just like run through them. Yeah,
I mean, well, the reason why I think having an equal side is important, bro, is because when you're in these shops, and I have a question for you about the beauty salons, because I do think it's a very profound experience. When you are in there listening to these women, not everything they're saying is right.
No. Oh,
not everything
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Well, I remember what I was gonna say. This actually sounds and feels like when you were talking about how the sword and shield and how men go about their ways in like the barbershop and how women go about it in the beauty salon sounds like sex. Right, so like men could just hop into like the barbershop like with their heart on, like, oh yeah, what's popping, yo, yeah, I'm here. Whereas women, like how you were saying when you were explaining it, how they like the build up, right? There's always a build up. There's always something. It's kind of like how they need the foreplay before they can get into into it. But that's what I was gonna say when you were talking about the sword and the shield and like the build up and stuff like that.
Man, that's absolutely beautiful. But my boy Daryl called it. He said, I realized with my wife, it's not about foreplay, man. It's about 24 play. Yeah. I'm supposed to be warming her up pretty much all day, every day. And he said the more time I put into warming her up, the more I realized how, first of all, not difficult it is. Nigga was spitting, bro. Yeah. He's like, how not difficult it is. But second of all, now just asking for sex in a random way, they got a new baby, they are engaged, she's in a different place.
Yeah.
Just asking for straight up sex is like going into the barbershop with a bullet point list, assuming that you are about to get a complete experience from what you have preconceived so far.
Yeah.
It's a horrible way to be. Unless, sometimes, certain women, I guess, like to fall into the place of just being told what to do and where to go. But
right.
I will say that there's a beautiful aspect to getting this hair salon experience. So I wanted to ask you, if there was one golden gem, let's say life is a marvelous journey. Yeah. I'm sorry, I have to do it like this. I gotta do it like this. I'm sorry, man.
Give it to him. Do it to him.
I love stories.
Yeah.
I love story. I love mythology. If life is a grand journey, and everywhere that you spent a significant amount of time was a stopping point for you to gain, let's say, an infinity stone that you would take with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
In every place you stopped, whether it was college, high school, the salon, first job, everywhere had something like some type of jewel to give you that you would take with you. What was, if you could condense it down into one description, what is the jewel that you got from being able to grow up in a hair salon surrounded by women, specifically in that space?
Kindness to women will always take you far. Like,
wow.
and wherever, however far you're supposed to go in life, or however far you're supposed to go with whatever you're doing, kindness to women will take you even further.
That is absolutely true. I just have to, I'm sorry not to cut your wisdom, but I want to interject with a fact that was shown in a study, that if you want to look at the progress of a society, you look at how it treats its women. So it's a very broad statement, but if you want to look at the progress or state of a society, it's where its wealth is, just look at how it treats its women.
Yo, it's if you want to continue, please.
No, I just had to say that because
it's true.
It's true.
And it's true. And to be honest with you, before I even make it a statistical thing, it's true in my life, right? Yeah. There has been times where I've wanted to do something, right? And I'll even give a actual fact. When I was back in New York and I was single, and I was always in the gym since I was my mentor, the person I thought was my father figure. I saw as a father figure when I was an adult. He was really into working out, so he's the one that actually got me into working out.
Nice.
So after a while, I was so like, you're in the gym all the time. You might as well be a personal trainer, right?
Yeah.
So I had started a personal trainer, had no clients. Like, I was just doing it because I'm just a guy that's always in the gym. Women got me clients. Women got my group classes filled. Women got me, like, gifts. Women put together flyers for me, right? And at some point, and these are friends and also women that I'm dating. And I was always honest person when I was dating, like, hey, I date multiple people. I want to let you know that I do have multiple people in my life. It's not girlfriend and boyfriend, I'm not cheating anybody, but I am dating. If you want to know any more, you can ask. And whatever they want to know, they will want to know. And even with that knowledge and me being that honest, they will still go out of their way for me. Because no matter what, I was always kind.
I think that's a testament to the woman's social circle being a projection of the micro, which is that a woman is a birther. She gives birth. She's a woman for bringing forth life. And I think they have such a natural inclination to bring forth life in things, people, ideas, etc. So I think we always take it as physical in the most like immediate sense. But then when you think of what it means abstractly, a woman comes into your life and helps you build out things more, helps you flesh it out more, helps you expand it. Because it's almost like they can't help but to see the expanded version of what's in front of them. And unfortunately, there's a downside to that too. Obviously, they'll tell you about the absolute blasphemous sin of falling in love with potential. They know that whole argument is horrible. It's a horrible. It takes godly discernment, and I feel bad for y'all because y'all have a system that is so sensitive naturally because you are supposed to be that in tune with this plane. And unfortunately, sometimes there's some misfire. It's falling in love with potential, but they come and they see you and they say, all right, where can we do this? But take that shirt off. Put this shirt on.
Yeah.
Then Erica just did it.
Yeah.
I swear to God. I come home one day and she's standing in front of a box. Dog. But they can't.
No.
And the box is full of clothes.
Yeah.
She's like, she just believes in me like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there is a beautiful quality of building in a sense of life-giving. Men build in a different way, like you said.
Yeah.
I think construction is magical. I told a construction worker one time, he's talking about his work and I'm talking about my work. I'm like, hey, I just made a song. I build from scratch. I grew up doing doo-wop a cappella, so I don't do a beat most of the time. My voice builds the foundation, and then I build on top of that. I'm like, but you build literally. I told him, you can build a ground that you can stand on. Yeah. That's fucking godly, bro. I don't give a fuck. But women have a different type of build. They see you, and they can point out the points of error almost. And sometimes they point them out a little improperly.
Hey, depends on how many barbershops and beauty salons they've been to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
depends on their social group. But I think they say that women live much longer than men. One of the main reasons is because of the pro-social behavior. Yeah. Later in life, the pro-social groups. There's something beautiful about that element of them just seeing things and wanting to give more birth.
And even it's like, I want to say this, but not in a corny, wrong way. They can also sometimes give like rebirth, which is also kind of like a really way to maintain you, right? Like okay, you've gotten to this point, like it's kind of like a time to like level up, or they could like honestly just keep you alive. Like I had that that example to really explain like more so in the physical, but there's been times like I can attribute wow, it's not a word. I can attribute 2 women actually literally saving my life, like just through just knowledge. Like when I first realized in 2015 that I was actually suffering from depression, my best friend at the time, well, my best friend, she's still my best friend, she understood depression not much more than me, but a little bit more, and she told me the steps that I had to go down to like get myself out of the rut. Also at the time I was suffering from something called costochondritis. Costochondritis is a inflammation in your chest that builds up because of high stress or depression, right? And this inflammation in your chest mimics a minor heart attack. But the difference is a heart attack you would have for a specific amount of time. Costochondritis you can have for like weeks. The longest I had mine was for 2.5 weeks straight. So I was having a minor heart attack for 2.5 weeks. Wow. And it got to the point where I thought I was crazy because the fucked up part is it doesn't come up on a stress test. So I did an EKG for me, did a stress test for me, and it won't come up. You just actually have to know. My best friend at the time, this girl, I was explaining everything to her, and I was actually going to end the sentence with, I think I'm ready to kill myself because I'm going to the doctor, and they're telling me nothing is there. Yeah. And also, I'm feeling this pain in my chest that I know is very real. And I'm fucking depressed at the same time. And she looked at me and goes, you just got costochondritis. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. She was like, she told me the whole thing is from stress. It's a pain. You feel like you have this pain in your chest. Feels like there's a pressure. Dog, I'll be going to work and I'll be at work like this all day, curled up. And there was nothing. That's the only way I can like relieve it. As soon as I come like this, I feel like open up. I feel like there's somebody stepping. It feels like you're walking and somebody's stepping on your chest at the same time. Wow. And like because of that, it feels like your breathing is like even heavier. Yeah, anyway. Damn. So I'm going through this for 2.5 weeks straight. Like by 2.5, if I got to the 3rd week, it would have been dangerous. Yeah. So she basically told me like it's called costochondritis. What happened to her is same thing. It doesn't come on a stress test. All these things, they just gave her some like ibuprofen and sent her home. And it got so bad that she was found like curled up in her dorm room, and her roommate had to call the ambulance. And when they took her to the hospital, her like blood pressure was like through the roof. And then a doctor, the only way they knew is because it's literal. This one doctor had experience with it, And that's how they were able to explain to her, you have costochondritis.
Wow.
But I was ready to end it the fuck all.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna take me and this body. If this body thinks it's gonna take me out, I'm gonna take it out first. And the only way to overcome costochondritis is high doses of ibuprofen and laughing. Because laughing opens up your chest cavity and makes the inflammation go away.
Hey, laughing is medicine. It truly is. I really believe that.
Women, fucking women, bro. And it really, that one moment of her telling me like what was wrong, that's what lifted my. I literally felt like 50 pounds just came off my back, because I was like, I needed to understand what the fuck was going on, and the only one to explain it to me was a woman.
Wow, man. Yeah, they say going to the doctor and not getting a diagnosis is the worst thing that could happen to you. Got it. When you have an answer, then at least you have walls.
Right.
Like, cool. So
I got a direction.
Yeah, you got a direction. Yeah. Jeez, yeah, man.
Yeah, that one was rough. So yes, we love women. I get it. They're safe for us.
They are.
Women are great.
Yeah, women are great. Women are great, man.
So we have all these things about us, right? We're listening to women. We've been to the beauty salons. They're breaking our hearts, but we're not taking it too hard. You know, they're just a little bit cheating sometimes.
Yeah,
but
just a little smooch here and there. Just a little tongue
in
down.
Junior high school, you know.
Jeez, it ended up happening again a few times.
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, this is normal.
You know, you just gotta swallow your pride, but you know, we still become the lovable people that we are. And I just want to ask you, what makes you lovable?
What makes me lovable is that I'm always willing to at least attempt to love unconditionally. And it's a test that I give to myself.
Yeah.
Because
that is a challenge.
Because it's as difficult as it gets. And me as an artist who is in the martial arts, who is into fortification and refinement and et cetera, and durability, et cetera, I'm going to pick the biggest, hardest shit. What the fuck is the most difficult thing? Let's go.
Wow, that's me.
I can't help it. Who's the biggest motherfucker in here? All right, your fucking mother.
Hey, you, fuck you. Let's do it. Let's rumble.
I can't help it, bro. It's something in me that just... But...
you know what the crazy thing is? That's how I feel about softening up women. I actually look like, who's the toughest one? You? You're a teacher? What are you? You're the CEO? You. I want you. I'm going to make you lovable.
I can't... We can't help it, bro.
You're going to find your femininity with me.
But yeah. Because I think that is a form of medicine.
Yeah.
I would give a very sexually explicit story as to why what you just said is absolutely true and medicinal and transcending for a woman. But we'll do that next time. You know,
maybe when a proper episode.
Yeah, maybe when there's more isolation. Yeah. But I say all that to say that I do believe that laughter is medicine. I do believe that the feminine quality in the male or the female is what opens up space for the person in their presence to be able to evolve in real time. I think that what makes me lovable is that I use love as an opportunity to grow. I use love as an opportunity to be as godlike as possible, because I found that that's the hardest place to do it. Yeah. I can write affirmations about it all day. I can do podcasts about it. I can fucking write books on it. I can sing songs about it. The hardest place to express and receive love or hold space for love is going to be when your partner is right in front of you doing some fuck ass shit that is testing every single button that you have put off limits. Yeah. You said these buttons are off limits. And they say, oh, it is, huh? How off limits? Beep. Okay. Stay away from that button, please. They say, oh, this one? It's like, all right, can I take that? It's like, you have to be able to take it because life does that. Your kids are going to do that. Your pets are going to do that. God is going to do that. You say you ask God for patience, it's not going to drip patience into your DNA. It's going to give you an opportunity to be patient. So if that's how God loves, then that's how I'm supposed to be at least attempting to love. Yeah, it's through that form of patience and grace. So that's what makes me lovable.
What is your relationship with reciprocity?
I think reciprocity is important in its most genuine sense. Osho said something that I thought is really important. Just how you found the difference between approval and loving.
That's what I was going to, yeah.
He was pointing at a difference between charity and sharing. So charity is something that you do when you feel like you're supposed to do it so that you can sleep better at night knowing that you did something you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Sharing is your cup is overflowing to such a degree that you have to give it out so that it doesn't go to waste. So my form of reciprocity is you give me and I will give you what I can to the best of what I have available to me based on what you have shared with me that you need. And it's not, so if you give me a foot rub, I'm not going to just give you a foot rub. It's like, what do you need today? Do you need a blunt specifically for where you're at in your cycle? Okay, cool. I wrote 4 of them. You know, it's like, what do you need specifically right now? So that my form of reciprocity is paying attention and like seeing. It's a feminine quality to point out points of error, man. To say, oh, that can go wrong if that keeps going that way. That can go wrong if it keeps going that way. That's a possibility. It's potential. So to look at this lady and say, okay, she has kind of been complaining about her feet hurting. Okay, I haven't had the time to do this. Okay, do I have some money to send her to the goddamn nail shop? So somebody can rub on her dogs? They're barking. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not a dinner for a dinner. Maybe it's that I noticed your fucking feet need to be rubbed, you know? When normally I am the one. I'm the foot rub ace. So let's not even take the allegory too seriously because these thumbs do dirt.
They do their thing.
These thumbs heal hearts. But yeah, that's how I feel reciprocity. What about you?
Grace. Reciprocity is like I do for you, and if there's a moment where you can, I'm thought of in priority. I guess, yeah. When I asked you that question, I guess I didn't think of my own answer itself. And I don't know if I've really thought of my relationship with reciprocity currently because I've been in the, what'd you say, giving without
expectation?
Yeah, giving without expectation, unconditionally. Yeah, right? Yeah, doing I've been in the space of like doing unconditionally now, also like familying and fathering and stuff like that. I've really dove into like the unconditional space. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. But on the real, I had asked because we were both coming from spaces of like finding approval from our dads, right? And then so, you know, my approval from my dad kind of like feels like transactional. It can kind of feel like transactional with me and people sometimes, like, hey, it didn't feel unconditional. I feel like I done for you because I can now expect that you're going to do for me. Yeah. Or I know, or you're about to do for me like right now. Yeah. And so when we go from, hey, attaching approval and love to something and then switching and become the unconditional type of people, I sometimes wonder, like, what's the relationship with reciprocity now? You know, because
it feels like now what it turns into, if you're in a tribe or surrounded by an environment that is willing to give how you're willing to give to the degree that you're willing to give, then I think that people have a sharing process that ends up just having to fill up the cups around it. The reason I think that is because I think that humans are naturally harmonious. I think that love is harmonious. I think that my working definition of love is the godly essence that binds two living things. Yeah. Whether that living thing is a man to a plant, a jaguar to a tree, doesn't give a fuck. So that's what I see. So if that's the process of it, then that means you're always going to be surrounded by things that are technically evenly yoked, even though they're formed of different properties. Yeah, we have to. That's how tribes work. There's a cook, there's a barber, there's a doctor. If it was 5 doctors in the wild, we're fucked. We need a hunter. We need a fucking cook. We need niggas who know different shit. So to me, reciprocity is also evenly yoked. And what evenly yoked means, it doesn't mean that you can put up as many points as I put up. It means that I put up points, but you're crazy on D. Yeah. And I can get these rebounds, but you got
assist.
You got the assist, and you just know how to distribute that fucking ball.
Yeah,
man, there's certain niggas who was in the game like that. It's like you just knew how to get fucking John Stockton.
Steve Nash.
Fucking Steve Nash was a warlock, bro. With that fucking stringy hair flying in the wind, you turn around and fucking Dirk is shooting it already. It's like, when did the ball get to Dirk?
Them damn Canadians, man.
It's like, but harmony. that's harmony, though.
Yeah.
A little nigga and a big nigga. What type of shit was that?
Yeah.
So I think that humans are inclined to harmony, which is different notes being applied in a graceful and enjoyable way. If it's the same note, it's not harmony. It's an octave. Yeah. It's literally not harmony. Harmony is different things binding together in an enjoyable way. You know.
Copy. Gotcha. Now I can actually think about my own like definition and like thought process when it comes to that. Yeah. Because that's those. Yeah. Speaking of definitions, how do you define love, friend?
Yeah, my definition of love right now is, well, I'll tell you what a teacher told me. I'll tell you what a teacher told me, my nigga. We can all talk about what love is.
Yeah.
A teacher told me that every planet has a different emotion that runs the planet. I was like, care to explain? She said, yeah. She said Mars is fiery and explosive, and anger is important because if you had no anger as a living specimen, you'd have no defense mechanisms to stay alive.
Yeah.
She said Mercury is this, Pluto is this. And she's going from planet to planet. I'm like, man, this is fun stuff. I was like, okay, so what's Earth? She said Earth is the planet of harmony, which is why it's inclined to bring forth life. What they're trying to find out in space is what can bring forth life.
Yeah.
If it can't bring forth living organisms, we're fucked. Earth is so abundant in bringing forth life because it's based in harmony. It's based in a binding process for life. There are certain planets that are based in binding processes for implosions and explosions, fire and lava. Earth wants to bring forth life in abundance. So to me, when she was explaining that, she was saying that the very weaving of what makes things alive on this planet is love. Yeah. It's the inclination to feel that binded we're better than apart. What a beautiful inclination to decide upon. And look at us always trying to bind, trying to convince each other of our principles and belief systems. And we could very well not give a flying shit about what anyone has to say. But humans, we just have to huddle up and figure this shit out together. So I think we are a representation of what's happening on the micro and the macro, which is Earth is a binding process of love, which is why I think life comes forth here. So to me, that's what love is. It's a binding process for the bringing forth of life. Yeah.
Very good.
It's a working thesis. When I get to Oxford to do my dissertation, it'll be more fleshed out.
Look out for the TED Talk.
Look out for the TED Talk coming 2025. We out here. You give me a TED Talk, it's going to be life-changing. I'm going to be in there with a fucking stick on the board like old times, bro. Listen, you dumbasses. Love is a binding process. They're like, get this kook out of here. Getting him to wait. Love is a binding
process. What's your like views on marriage? Like, actually, I got a 2-part question for this, because when I did the interviews before this, we actually got into like a conversation about like, what do you even like? Everybody realizing that everybody has like a different view on what marriage is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But before we even get to that,
some people who are in the same marriage have a different view. What the fuck marriage means?
Just because you're committed doesn't mean that.
Revelation. You gotta remember that to my young bulls. I swear. All
right. Do you want to be married or look forward to marriage in the future?
Yeah, I love the idea of marriage. Even though humans have proven to not be good at it, I think that it is something that we constantly shoot for because we see something in it that will guide us towards better versions of ourselves. Yeah. For me, the things that I see in it that are such an asset to human life, to what we just said, binding for bringing forth life in a benevolent form. At a marriage, you have two people who stand in front of all of their loved ones for accountability, and they stand underneath some god that they believe is the ruler of all things and can smite them at any moment. And they look at each other in the fucking eyes with a middleman to that god. So that shit's clear. Mm-hmm. And they say, you're not going to fucking leave, right?
Yeah.
And they say, yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah. And he's like, are you sure? Because it's kind of like a big deal. Like, my favorite thing is they pour sand. You pour sand here and you pour sand here into one cup, and now you can't tell the difference. I always thought that's what marriage was. When I saw that ritual as a kid, I was like, that's dope. I don't know about that other shit.
Yeah.
But that's dope. Mm-hmm. The idea of becoming one to the degree of not being able to differentiate. That's buck. Yeah. I was like, okay. Aristophanes had a perspective of that that's similar. I love symposium. Mm-hmm. So I agree. I think that there's something you're agreeing to do when you marry someone. You're saying, we have come along this journey of life and battled all these foes of land and sea alone with these swords, and my sword's getting tired and my shield is cracked and I'm out here in the fucking wilderness, and you seem to be going the same way I'm going. Yeah. You seem to be doing it similarly to how I'm doing it. Your emotions seem to be tolerable. So then let's bring our forces together and do it better together. And it seems to be a ritual that, according to whoever delegated the ritual, says that once you do it, you can't undo it. You shouldn't undo it. Yeah. We got to recognize what rituals mean, even if it's not Christian based. Fuck the context. If you agree to be with this nigga, one of my elders, I have a father figure named Charlie Brown, took care of his wife until her dying day. He's much younger than her, but he's like 80 something. She's like about to be 100. And he's taking care of her, feeding her food, getting her vitamins, not wanting the caretakers to do nothing, right? And my aunt called Charlie Brown and said, Charlie Brown, everybody's calling to check on Kalima, but nobody's checking on you. Yeah. Like you said, that unconditional fatherly experience of not being checked on. Nobody's checking on you, Charlie Brown. What's up? Are you okay? He was like, oh, yeah, I'm all right. When I said those vows, I meant it. Till death do us part. Yeah. I signed up for this part. Of course I'm okay. I'm fulfilling my fucking duties. Yeah. I was like, I'm doing my job. That's a man. Yeah. Like, that's a fucking man right there. So to me, marriage is the binding process and agreement beneath whatever you see as divine, bigger than you, knowing more than you. You're promising that thing and this counterpart, we now do this together. Yeah. We are binded. If that means we got to take a break here and there, fucking take your ass over to Texas, bring your black ass back when you're ready. But we're not leaving. That's the whole point. And when I see people leaving, I got discouraged in marriage and started coming up with all these nihilistic principles because I saw so many people leaving. Yeah. We're in our 30s. So now we're seeing all the people who married young leaving. I see everybody leaving. And I'm really thinking, like, when you were up there making that promise, what the fuck did you think it meant? What did you think it meant? And the reasons they're leaving, it's like, yeah, there's cheating and there's beating. Okay, let's sit that to the side for a second. Yeah. What the fuck did you think was going to happen?
I mean, if I said, do you want to be my wife through a message, is the same thing. Isn't that the weight of the world right now? I just said it seems like you just sent to a message. It's like,
it's not an aim message. Your grandma was there. Your dad passed you the fuck off.
Right.
Get your ass back in that house and become a fucking woman and talk about it. Yeah. And the men, become a fucking man. I hear this a lot. This discouraged me when I would talk about marriage. When people say, and mostly women say, I don't hear a lot of men say this, say, I was losing myself. I lost myself in my marriage. It's like when you pour the sand in the bottle and you pour this sand in the bottle, it gets lost in there. That's the whole fucking point. Transcend into something else, you fat fucking lazy fuck. The whole point.
That just pissed you off.
Because as a kid, I'm like, yeah, that sand shit is hot. That's how you felt as a kid. Yeah, a broom? Yeah. If we really wanted, we can jump back over the broom, backwards. Yeah. Like, seriously. We could take that glass that was crushed underneath the hand cloth. If we really, really meticulously needed to, we could put it back together. with some glue in time. That sand, you can't fucking differentiate it. Yeah. So that, I guess, just got to me, and it let me know, like, what marriage means to me is when I make a promise through God, you keep it. And I'm agreeing to make a promise to bind to you spiritually and in a household, so I have to keep it. You know, that's my perspective.
Yeah. I thought I had my own, but that sand in the that mixing of the sand is really what defines it in a much better way than I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like, a marriage to me is like a mirror, right? So it's like whatever happens. I think of marriage as like we're two people that are two people. I'm you, and I'm myself. You're yourself, and you're me. Beautiful. Wow. So, like, for instance, I can't talk bad about you to somebody else because that's like talking bad about myself. It actually literally makes no sense. That's like, hey, Shekem, like, hey, you rip the knife out your own heart, my brother, please. Because it's like going to my homeboy and be like, bro. Hey, she being a bitch right now. She a dumbass. This dumbass bitch. I might as well just say, hey, I'm being a bitch right now. I'm a dumbass. That's what marriage is to me. That's what a full commitment is to me. It's like, this is my mirror. This is my other person. But also at the same time, this is also myself. So if I'm going to raise my voice at this person, you're really just raising your voice at yourself and basically at yourself. You want to be ignorant, just being ignorant and being a detriment to yourself. Wow. But if you want to be positive, if you want to be positive, you want to be successful, right? Yeah. In your relationship, if you want to push your person forward, then guess who you're pushing forward?
You're pushing forward yourself. Amen. Ashe. That's a word of gold. Shout out to the kings who are going to soak that in.
Yeah, man.
Wow, that's beautiful. I received that, bro. That was a piece of gold.
How do you treat something or someone that you love now that you've gotten to this point of, like, engulfing all this knowledge through heartbreak, through song and craftsmanship, through family, through relationships, through unconditionalness? How do you treat with love?
Man, that's beautiful. First of all, the golden rule means something so different to me now.
Yeah.
Treat others how you want to be treated. It's crazy. And I'm not saying give them the love language that you wish they would give you. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, like, in moments of opportunity to either excel or descend, you choose something that is considerate of the thing. So I realize that I'm delicate with the things that I care about. And delicate in the sense of I know what they can take. I have a bow staff that's my favorite bow staff. Mm-hmm. It's the bow staff that I started with. Put it through hell. So that bow staff can bend and flick and swing, and I know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I also know it's too much, and I don't train with it over concrete, and I don't take it certain places, and I don't put it in certain cars. So I treat the things that I love with awareness and I'm delicate with them. I think sometimes we forget to be delicate with women. I try to be as delicate with that lady as I can.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with somebody, if you're in a good space, with somebody who's looking to heal just like you.
Yeah.
And man, that shit comes out weird sometimes.
Yo, and as men, you know what the funny thing is? Because I would try to, like, redefine what masculinity is, and delicacy is a part of it, right? As I'm saying this, one of our loves is hot coming in right now. Thank you, baby. Bring me that water. Thank you. Now exit the man space. We've been doing this for hours. Shh. We're talking great stuff. Come on. We're recording. Bye. You gotta love them. I was saying. What was I saying?
Wait, one second.
Let me sip this water and it's going to come back to me. How we treat things we love. Oh, God, just like women that throw you fucking off. Anyway.
Sometimes, I know I feel left off by saying sometimes when they are healing, it comes off weird.
Oh, yes. I was thinking about what redefine masculinity, because I didn't want to be stuck with the same toxic isotopes that comes with masculinity. Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, one of those things is compassion and how it translates is like knowing when to be delicate with something, right?
Yeah.
And just to further explain or put it into like a metaphor analogy, I think of like being a construction site, right? When you're on a construction site, you're using heavy tools, right? You have to put a lot of strength into things, right? This is a very masculine type space, right? You're building, constructing, and creating, right? And then you can't come home and hold your wife's hands like you're holding a fucking screwdriver or Phillips or pliers, right? So in the sense of compassion, you have to understand what you're dealing with and then understand what kind of energy to give it. When you're at the workplace, you've got to be rough. You've got to be strong. You got to be masculine. When you come home or you're around your woman or a feminine presence that you care about, you have to have the discernment to know. And the reason why I say compassion, because I feel like compassion is different than discernment. Discernment is just knowing like, okay, I'm dealing with a man, I deal with that one way. I'm dealing with a woman, I'm dealing with that one way. Compassion is, I know how this man feels, and that's how I'm gonna approach it. I know how this woman feels, and that's how I'm gonna approach it. And I just feel like compassion is something that has to be your masculine trait. Where you have to understand, not only just treat things with a certain kind of delicacy, but also understand what you're treating and how and why you have to treat it with delicacy.
That's beautiful. That's an important concept, because if you were fixing something on the construction site, you would look at a problem that needs to be fixed, and you have to find the perfect tool for it.
Right.
You got to wield it a certain way.
Right. And if you want to keep it to construction site, there's a difference between, hammering a nail and being an electrician on that construction site. There's a difference between a carpenter and an electrician on the construction site, right? And what tools you use and what delicacy you go about it, and like the risk like involved. And so that's how I see it, as dealing with women with different emotions, right? Like, if you were, or you think if you're married as a construction site, right? You have to have compassion or different graces or different tools that will work on different places. I just hit mad gems just now. Like, take anyone you want with y'all. Take that one.
Niggas don't realize they have the tools to deal with women, and they're not using the tools properly. Right. So, man, that's a beautiful gems. We have all the ability.
There was a lot there. Just take whichever one. Yeah. This is the part where we could spark up, right? Because now I can ask you my favorite question out of it. So you can spark up right now.
All right, well, I got some ask the question for us right here.
I appreciate you. So, out of everything that we spoke about today, is really about truly and honestly getting to know you more, and like, just the conversation being the example and what you can learn from. But this question specifically is what I wanted to ask men, to like really learn something from them, so I can like really take it home with me, or break it down in whatever way I need to like properly understand. How can men handle love better? And you can go ahead and light that up and contemplate on that one.
Sure. How can men
handle love better?
How can men handle love better? Handle.
Ooh, I need to take a big breath just now. It's been a lot that's happened during this episode, like in a beautiful way, man. Yeah, beautiful.
Truly, I'm so grateful to be here.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This might be one of the best episodes I've ever done. Period.
I
truly enjoyed like where this has come from and where it's going right now. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. It's been an honor. Me too. I'm learning so many things. Yeah. You've been dropping gems. I hope everybody's rewinding, taking notes.
Ditto.
How I think men can handle love better. With me specifically, it's always going to come down to the self. And I can explain. I think that life is more selfish than people think. I think that the better you treat yourself, the better you treat everything else, always. And I mean that in a micro sense and a macro sense. So I think men handle love better when they look in a mirror and they say, how can I love myself better?
Yeah.
I'm insufficient. First of all, admit that you're insufficient, because we all are, and then say where you're insufficient. Where you're insufficient when you target it is probably going to need, quote unquote, love. So your distribution of that love and your action on it is actually going to define how you feel about love for real. I really believe that. I really believe that when a man is on his own in his cave, looking in the mirror, he knows the truth. And I think even if it's for a split second, and then the world that he lives in is simply a reflection of how he's acting upon that truth. I really believe that. The truth is up for refinement. So I think men can love better if they recognize how to refine their love for themselves. How do they cultivate love within themselves? That's one of the first things God gave Adam in the first book. I thought that was so interesting. One of the first things that a God would give a man that it created under its own dominion, yet having its own free will, was you have to learn how to bring about life in that garden. Go do that first. Go get to work and explain who these animals are and why they're called that and what. And so I think there's something to that. I think there's something beautiful to that. This idea that the journey alone prepares you for the journey to be able to love others. My journey alone prepared my relationship with my father. My journey alone repaired my relationship with my mother. I didn't have the luxury to go to therapy. I had my cave, I had the tools that my parents gave me, I had the spirit of the Most High, and I had a fucking aim. Get this shit off my chest. And in the process, I realized that everything was more enjoyable and produced more fruit when I was treating myself fucking better. And can I tell you something, brother? Can I tell you something? If we're talking about romantic love, women can see it. Because women can see a man that is healing from a mile away. She can smell his essential oils from upstairs. Okay?
Facts.
She can see... She can see the proper fitting cargo pants from the other side of Trader Joe's. All right? Okay? I'm telling you, she could peep your skin routine. She can peep how you treat yourself. And that's really what attracts evolved and successful and powerful women to you. They see, oh, that nigga's beard is shaved up. Well, you think you're going to keep trimming your beard up for other people? No, you have to do it for yourself. That to me is love. Love yourself. Fucking look properly. You don't have to look like a caveman all the time. Clippers are on sale. Black Friday just passed. Take care of yourself. Get some trimmers for your fucking balls and nose hairs. But I say all that to say that the more self-love, the more you are successful at love. I truly believe that. Because you are the hardest person to impress. You are the hardest person to fix. The hardest person to heal. You're the hardest test. Once you learn yourself, you can take over everything, dog. So to me, the secret to love is consulting yourself with the light of God as to how you can love yourself better.
Ooh, that was beautiful.
My brother.
No, there's no apology needed. That was absolutely marvelous. And I can say that light on time. And it also goes into one of my second things of what I define masculinity as, and it is, and it's being an example. So if you're an example of love, right?
Exactly.
It'll come to you.
Okay, so when Gandhi said, "Be the change," everybody was like, "Man, he's so wise. Praise Gandhi. Yes, he's speaking the truth." Gandhi's like, "No, be the change. You do it." They're like, "Yes, Gandhi, you genius, you are a Mahatma." He's like, "You guys aren't listening. I'm literally telling you to just do it. Stop saying it. Stop praising me. Go be it." Bro, it took me forever to realize that to be the example is to truly be the godlike form. Because even if it's not imperfection, it's still It's still the ascended version of yourself. No matter what.
And just I think this, but not everybody might agree. I think that women naturally are followers in the sense of masculine and feminine energy, right? Like men are the leaders in the sense, in a sense, not the sense, but in a sense, and women are looking for that strong leader, that strong masculine presence, not a follower like they're just loosely just like looking for anybody to just like be behind, and I don't mean follower as like be behind, but someone that they can see as like the strong leader, and you do that by being that person, being or showing off an example of that person. You take care of yourself. Women are going to want somebody that they can feel like can also take care of them. If you can take care of yourself, you could probably take care of another person too, because you've already embodied a person that can take care of a whole human.
Hey, so how
and that whole human is yourself.
So how about, bro? I feel like this entire conversation can be resolved in that word that you just said, embodied.
Embody.
I truly, truly believe. Yeah. When I was on my journey not too long ago, it was a very specific journey. We're never not on the journey, but I was in a specific part of my journey. I had a process, and the process was very regimented. Yeah, a balance of meditative and movement and action. So I would have a question that would pop up at the top of the morning, and I would meditate on it throughout the day. When I got home, I would go into a deep movement meditation in which I would ask the question, right? Okay. I received my answer, however I received it that day, and I would document it on my phone. And all of these things are parts of the process. The documenting sometimes is difficult. Yeah. And then receiving it sometimes takes hours. Take 3 and 4 hours movement. But the hardest part of the whole process would be the next morning I would listen to what I got in the message the night before, and then I told myself I would do it or prove it or embody it at least 5 times in the day. That was the hardest part, doing it, embodying it. Yeah. There are other difficult things, of course, and we can pinpoint them all day. I hear people say all the time, oh, my bad, I can't focus, I got ADHD, my bad. Well, if you are aware you have ADHD, then why are you using it as a crutch? Fucking do the thing that you're supposed to do with it.
Right. But use it to your advantage.
Yeah. What the fuck are you saying crutches out loud for? Either you embody something that's the efficient version of it, or you don't. And I started realizing that the embodiment is the difficult part. Yeah. So I shaded embodiment, bro, for real. Thank you for even saying that word.
And that's my definition of actually love, is embodying it in yourself. Like, if I'm saying, like, when I was younger, the terminology was more popular, but I was like, I'm a lover boy, right? But it's also makes more sense in Caribbean, saying as I'm a lover man, right? So like, you're a ladies man and stuff like that. But I would see exactly. So now we're getting it.
Man, I'm Mr. Lover.
Yeah, Mr. Lover is fire.
I love
that. I might actually name the episode that Mr. Lover.
Yeah, Mr. Lover.
But I would see men or guys or boys or whatever and say that they love women, but you only show off that you love having sex with women. You only love one part. Yeah, you only so that you're lying. Yeah. And one thing about me as a kid, I could spot a fucking liar. Yes. And I could spot a fucking liar, or I could spot when some shit just didn't make any sense. When 2 and 2 ain't making 4. It wasn't making 4.
That's an important quality to keep, man.
Yeah. So when I would see this, I was like, I would just know the difference between somebody that is saying something and somebody that is embodying something. Yeah. And so for me, it was like, okay, well, if I'm going to say I like women, then I'm going to have to actually do all the things that women like. Yeah. and one of the things that I got to understand and do those things because the hair salon, where I would listen to women all the time, that translated to me being in school, where I would listen to the girls speak. I would chill with my mostly women, the girls at the time, man. And I would listen to them. So I would be on game already
because you had different tiers of paralleled.
Exactly, and so it's kind of like, going from elementary to junior high school. It's like going from the hair salon and your parents to friends, going from friends to girlfriends, going from girlfriends to like colleagues and going to work and stuff like that. Like, you're graduating to different tiers of listening to different types of people. You have to listen to them. And for me, I was paying attention to the tiers of women that I was meeting on my way throughout life and what they would say and how the conversations changed.
That's beautiful. Wow.
And I was like, you niggas are idiots, because if you would just listen, right, the goal that you actually want to get to, you would get to it faster. Not saying that that is what you should do or you should have the intent of doing that.
Yeah.
But if that was actually really your goal, right?
You would treat it
you would do
such.
you would do all of the right things to get there. But guess what? You're actually not an embodiment of love or of
You
woman.
have to embody it.
You're an embodiment of your own self-pleasure. It's not even about the women anymore. And so that's when I realized you're not even doing anything to make women like you, so you really actually just don't like women. I, on the other hand, peep game, listen to women most of the time, and then just regurgitate whatever the fuck they tell me to do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in a pleasure, it wasn't in a people-pleasing type of way. I was still learning and finding out what is my way of doing this that can make you as a woman, that because I like women, I want to make you happy, and it feels reciprocated. Because remember that word that came up earlier, that's how I felt when I was younger.
Yeah.
Was I needed that reciprocation, where now it's now unconditional.
Amen.
Whew.
Hey,
I got my last thing to ask you. I know we've been here for a while, but I'm addicted to the gem dropping that's happening today.
It's a beautiful time.
But just to get out of here, I wanted you to take this time to dedicate some love to someone, anyone that you would like to. Please, go ahead.
Well, I would like to dedicate love to all of the ancestors who have passed on, all of the master teachers and ancestors who have helped me along the way so far, who used the light of the Most High to bless me with so many beautiful understandings. And I've recently written a lot of songs about them. Yeah. One of them I just recently shared is called Posters. It's on my Instagram, Shekem House. And I always wanted to be able to share these types of experiences of love that I get, sometimes that can seem fantastical. You know, and we'll talk about that later, but my experiences of love in other realms is very powerful. And I get to have those experiences all the time. Yeah. So I would like to dedicate my love to them, to Charlie Brown, to Loney, to Uncle Trent, to all my loved ones who have recently passed on. And I have so much music that I can't wait to share, because I made music in my healing as medicine for me, so that when I listen back to it, I feel like I have some medicine for the healing that I was going through. And now I get to share that with people. So that's my form of love that I can't wait to share, because so much love has been shared with me recently. So much love. So yes, Ashe to the Most High. Ashe to my wonderful queen in there, who's in there right now, and I dedicate love to her as well every day, every moment. I'm so grateful for love. I'm so grateful to love God through her. Yeah. I'm so grateful to love her and experience, like you said, the mirror of myself in her, and always attempting to see things from her perspective. Yeah. Ashe. So yes, I love, and I hope I get to see all these clips soon, because I know it's a lot of gems, man. I'm grateful. Man. Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you for this experience, man. You bodied it. This was a great conversation, and I can't wait to edit and like just the re-listen of this, and then just see where my mind is from here to when I edit, and like the reflections I'm going to be having today and the thoughts I'm going to be having today will just like put it two to two together. Amen. I'm looking forward to it all.
Amen.
Before we get out of here, tell the people where they can find you if you have anything you want to share or let the people know about. That's your camera right there.
Yes, bless. I am Shakim. I have a lot of beautiful music coming soon. I make music called Indigenous Blues, and I pray that it is music that inspires you to love and to want to even seek love and to want to embody love. So you can go on my Instagram, Shakim House. I'm going to be dropping these rings soon. Ashe. I don't know if you can see, but I'm going to be dropping my jewelry soon. And there's lots of music coming soon. Lots of creative things coming soon. Lots of sound baths coming soon. Yeah. Just stay tuned, and yes, I'll constantly share all that's overflowing.
Yeah. And, oh man, I'm just, I'm going through it in my mind right now. There's so many things racing I want to think about, but let's try to stay focused. Listen, love like this, Lovecast, the before, during, and after of falling in love. Follow us on Instagram at Hoochie Mama Dad. Everything is love like this. I'm Orlando Roye. Shout out to you, Mila. You are now engaged, baby. I love you. And I love y'all. Thank y'all.
I never knew there was a la like this.